When a pope dies, the Catholic Church enters a time of mourning and transition. But what exactly happens next? First, the Camerlengo, essentially the Church's acting administrator, verifies the Pope's death. Traditionally, he taps the Pope's forehead 3 times, calling his baptismal name. Once confirmed, the fisherman's ring, a symbol of the papacy, is broken to prevent forgery. The Church enters a 9-day mourning period called Novem Dialis, with prayers and funeral rites. The Pope's body lies in state for public veneration before being laid to rest, often in St. Peter's Basilica. Meanwhile, governance of the Church is paused. No major decisions can be made until a new pope is elected. This responsibility falls to the College of Cardinals, who gather in a secret conclave. They vote in multiple rounds, burning ballots after each. Black smoke means no decision. White smoke signals a new pope has been chosen. The chosen cardinal accepts, choosing a papal name. The world hears Habemus Papam, we have a pope. A tradition spanning centuries, ensuring continuity in faith.
What happens when the Pope dies? The Camerlengo taps his forehead with a silver hammer and says his name. If there's no response, he declares the Pope's death. The fisherman's ring is destroyed to prevent forgeries, and his most important documents are sealed. The sede vacante begins. Cardinals lock themselves inside the Sistine Chapel and the conclave starts. Only when white smoke appears does the world know a new pope has been chosen. The end of an era, the beginning of another.
What exactly happens if the Pope dies? Who takes over, and how soon? When a Pope dies, the Church enters a time called sede vacante, Latin for the seat is vacant. The Cardinal Camerlengo confirms the death and seals the papal apartments. The College of Cardinals gathers in conclave, a secret meeting to elect the next Pope. After days of prayer and voting, when one man receives a 2/3 majority, white smoke rises. That's the sign, we have a Pope. Until then, no one leads the Church, but the Holy Spirit is still in charge. Faith goes beyond facts.
This is scary. You ever heard about the prophecy of the popes? It's a 12th century prophecy hidden in the Vatican's archives. You know, the library that's said to contain the deepest secret of the world. It claims to list every pope from the year 1143 right up to, guess who? Pope Francis, our current pope. But here's the terrifying part, it just stops. Right there. No pope after him, only 2 words. Judgment Day. Yeah, it sounds dramatic, but it just started getting weird. Inside St. Paul's Basilica, there's a spot for every pope's portrait, circling the sanctuary. But the design leaves only one empty slot after Pope Francis. They say that when that final spot is filled, it's the end. Simple as that. Now here's where it twists. So, according to the prophecy, the time between the first pope listed and the midpoint pope in 1585 was 422 years. Now add another 422 years from there, and you land on 2027. Coincidence? Think again. And if that wasn't enough, Pope John the 23rd himself supposedly said the end would come exactly 2,000 years plus Christ's lifetime. Do the math. You get, 2027, that's 3 times. 3 predictions, all pointing to the same year. That's not just a random guess, that's a countdown, and it's ticking.